Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm sure someone will come in here as we're already starting this. So as I said earlier, let's go ahead and get the app downloaded onto our device. I'm going to move this bar up here out of our view and shrink this down a little bit. So the goal today is to help you with the consumer experience, right? And part of the consumer experience is the brand new KW app. Now we're going to start with getting the app on our phone. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you my actual phone screen so you get an idea of what this is going to look like. So give me a second here. I'm going to share my iPhone with you. And that way you guys will see it up on the screen here in a moment. So I will share, Zoom. Perfect. So now you guys are looking at my phone and I have the new KW app. Now, one thing that you probably are noticing is when you got this app, it's telling you to sign up. So let me explain this really quick because the number one question I get from agents is, what is my login? My login didn't work. Well, this is a consumer app, not an agent app, meaning you do not have a consumer login yet. However, according to KW, we should create a consumer account to test this out and learn how it works. So you're actually going to want to sign up. And this is another point to tell every one of your consumers. So even if they had a login on the old app or something there, that's a different company, and that app and login doesn't work anymore. So they have to sign up for a brand new account. And if they sign up, you're going to see everything they do inside a command. If they don't sign up and they just try using the app, it's not going to stay branded to you, and you will not know if they've logged in or what they've used. So the best practice is to sign up for an account. So if you click sign up, it only needs their first and last name, an email address, and they can pick a password they want. So if you're the agent and you're coming in as a consumer, just put your name and email address, and you can even use the same password as command that you want, and you only have to do this one time. Now, I had some people tell me that they got an error message when they did this, saying they already had an email address on file. This app is the same as our consumer website that we launched in October. So if you ever had anybody or you yourself have logged into the brand new agent sites with Keller Williams, that login will work in the app too, and vice versa, meaning when you sign up on the app, you can log into the website and the two will be in sync from then on. So that's something we've never had before, and really exciting is the fact that now you have one experience for the consumer, the mobile app version of it and the website version of it. And if they like it on the website, it shows up in the app. And if they like it in the app, it'll show up on the website. So that'll be really neat. So we would want to sign up for an account. I already have one, so I'm going to log into my account. So I'm logging into my account, and the power of doing this, by the way, is when they register, even you as a consumer testing this out, it's going to add it to command for you. So you're actually going to have in command a new contact and a lead that's going to show your information, which is really neat. Okay, hold on. There it is. Okay, you guys not able to hear me very well? It could be, let me make sure my volume is up on mine, and then we'll check yours. Same as speaker. Can you hear me a little bit better if I talk closer to the screen? All right, if anyone's not hearing, I would just say make sure that your computer stuff is on. I will turn my volume up, and I will turn my microphone volume up as well, just to verify. Thank you. Sound. Turn on microphone. Okay, I'm turning up the volume of my microphone, so hopefully that will help a little bit as well. The whole point of the app, let's see. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Thank you, Jenny. The point of this app and why we want to sign in as the consumer is to get the consumer experience. So the old app did allow you to log in as an agent. That's not going to work on this one because it's just consumer. How you guys are going to log in and get the information is inside of command. So the app isn't here to tell you anything about the consumer. The app is to let the consumer search and look around. Now, the neat thing about this app, as you can see from the screen, is the biggest difference started off the bat is the fact that it can search by neighborhoods. So you may or may not have seen, I actually did a side-by-side comparison of this app with Zillow and Redfin and Remax and Realogy and Trulia and a bunch of different apps to show you the difference. And what I noticed is the biggest difference is the neighborhoods right off the bat. Now, I know we have people watching that maybe in your area, the neighborhood isn't perfect yet. Here's the best way to explain neighborhoods when a consumer asks, and you as an agent, the neighborhood boundary you see in blue was drawn by a consumer. So Nextdoor provided us with the maps of 300 neighborhoods across America. That means that the consumer chose the map, not the state, not the realtor, not even Nextdoor. So how their social media platform works for Nextdoor is its neighbors saying, hey, tell me about your neighborhood. Where do you live? And somebody went online to Nextdoor and drew a map and then called it a name. And then it took 10 to 20 or 30 people to vote to say, yes, that's correct before it went live. So if any of these maps aren't what you consider a true neighborhood, or you notice the name's wrong, in the future, you're going to be able to change that. Just explain to your consumer that this is a consumer chosen map of that neighborhood. And in the future, we'll have the ability to kind of override this and choose your own maps as well. But this was a big differentiator between all the different apps out there. And the only one close to doing this right now is Twilio. They have a couple maps, maybe 300 neighborhoods in America, and you have 300,000 on your device. That will go anywhere that they are. So this is one of the biggest differentiators I noticed. And if I click on a neighborhood, like here's the neighborhood that my office is in, Coral Ridge Country Club, we have the data here. Now, looking at all the other competitor apps, they all had the data, but only Trulia and ours had what locals say. This was one unique differentiator. So one thing we could tell our consumers is we can help them find their home and learn more about what people say about living in that area. So I love this feature because now they're saying, okay, this is great for shopping, moviegoers. We have an amazing AMC dine-in theater here, luxury culture. We have $1 million homes, handmade culture, networking opportunities, right? You're getting the idea of how a consumer can use this if they don't know their area to learn more about it. So that was one big differentiator I saw between all the different apps. And because I'm logged in under my account, I actually work in 3 market centers and I go between 3 offices. So I added to my personal app the 3 addresses of my offices. So I'm in the first one. Then I have my office in Coral Springs and Aventura that I travel between. And I'm instantly, any home that I look at, any neighborhood I look at, it remembers my addresses and I can go to see how far would it be to bike to that work, how far would it be to walk, and how far am I driving from that location. So this is a powerful way to say, hey, this is all built in for you. The nearby schools, I noticed every one of the apps had schools nearby. None of them, except for ours, has that student to teacher ratio, which means for 13 students, we have 1 teacher, right? So it's kind of being that student to teacher ratio, and that was a big differentiator between our app and others. Yelp, I see right now is not working, but typically right here where it says places, the Yelp restaurants and things nearby would be here. But this is just something to start looking at of how is this app experience different? And as you can tell, it already looks way different than it did before. Now there's more icons down below and we'll talk about those, but let's start with you, where it says you in the lower right-hand corner. The big thing here is to make sure that you're logged into an account. So I see my name at the top of the screen here. And then where it says your agent, you want to make sure that it's branded to you. So sometimes it may not be branded to you because how we went into the App Store is not what we want the public to do. Because if they go to the App Store, we can't promise that they're downloading your app. We just know they're downloading the Kelle Williams app. And Kelle Williams doesn't want it to be about us and say, go get our app. That's why we want to say, hey, let the agent share their app with you. And that's the best way to do it. So if you noticed your agent isn't you, or in this case, it is me, but it's maybe the wrong person, you can click here to change your agent or remove your agent. And you just look up an agent's name. So I'm already in this system, but if I looked up myself and looked up me and hit search, I'd be able to find me as an agent. And when I click on it, I'd have the option to get in touch and make this agent my agent. So that's just a way that you want to brand it to yourself. And you always want to verify this before you ever send it to somebody. So if you're using this app and you log into your own account, you're going to click on the You button and verify that it says your agent and has your name on it. Because if it does, then you'll notice there's a share button right here, 3 from the bottom, share the KW app. And this is going to share with your unique KW app link in it. So it will keep the branding. What I learned lately is people have been saying that they shared the app with somebody and it didn't keep the branding. It asked them to log in. It didn't know who their agent was. If that's happening to you, I looked at the help article and it says specifically, you have to register as a consumer on your app and then share it from here for this to share and keep the branding to you. So hopefully that'll address anybody's concerns around making sure the app is branded to you. I've tested it with my whole family today. I sent them the app, made sure I did it from the app itself, and this is the fastest way to share it. Now we're going to share other ways that you can share this as well. We're going to do some fun marketing pieces around this, But I wanted to point that out specifically because that's how you're going to make sure that this app is yours, is clicking on the U button in the lower right-hand corner and making sure your agent has your name in it. And then, of course, you can hit share app and text it, email it, post it on Facebook. There's 100 different ways to share it. Your best bet, though, is just to text it to somebody while you're standing in front of them, right? At an open house, I saw a woman this week that made a cool flyer and designs. And at her open house, she had a app station where people came to learn more about her app, and she shared it with them by text. Just let me text the app right now and click here and download the app right in there. And make sure you tell the consumer to take advantage of this app. Please make sure that you register for an account. You only have to register once and it will work. Now, the other cool feature is under here where it says my name, the third option now, it says add a co-buyer. This is unique. This is their ability now to add. So you can have a husband and a wife. I could do me and maybe my sister if we're looking at buying homes or want to look at homes together, is the ability to invite somebody to this. Now, I did this example with an agent earlier today, and what happened was he invited his admin to the system as a co-buyer, and that admin came into command as a brand new lead, had the mobile app branded to the agent, and then the two of them now are able to collaborate on properties that they look at. So that's like you having your app on your phone with the things that you like, their app on their phone with the things they like, and now you can collaborate together and have a combined shared collection where you say, hey, here are our dream homes that we want to look at. And this will work anywhere in America, parts of Canada, and eventually anywhere in the world. How powerful will this be when we can have your consumer invite their friends and family to try this, and then when they do that, it just became a new lead for you inside of Command. That's what I'm really excited about. And I'll show how that works and how Command will show you the leads that come in. But I wanted to highlight these features before we deep dive too much into the app. So the big thing is going to make sure it's branded to you and hit share. Here's the best part. If they do this and hit share the app or invite a co-buyer, like I said, they're all going to come in as a lead, and they just lead generated for you by hitting the share button. So the more we get them to use this app, the more we get them to feel comfortable, the better their experience is going to be. So if I come back to the search, you've got your basics in here. So at the top of the screen, you've got your ability to search by price, bedrooms, property type, under other, and different stuff, sorry, not other. So houses, if I want to narrow down to just houses in the area, that's where those things are. And then under more, we have more options. So just so you learn a little bit about the app, if you click on map, you can actually change it from the kind of color cartoon map view to a satellite view. And you can actually come back and look satellite view to see, okay, here's my home. What's nearby it, right? Is this on a corner? Does it have a big lot? And I like that that's built in as well. So then you've also got here, not just the map side, you've got your property types. Now people have asked me, Jay, what if I want to look for rentals? So notice it says listing status for sale. Now you can now mark it. Notice it says for sale, it's everything right now. So if they only want to see active, this is one little trick. They have to click the active button. Now I played with Zillow's app earlier today, and Zillow defaults to everything, meaning off market, rentals, commercial, land, everything in one view because they want to look like they have a lot of data. So even on Zillow's app, the consumer has to say, only show me single family homes and only show me active ones to hide anything that's pending or coming soon. Now there is a button here for rent. So if I wanted to look at rentals, I just flip that little switch to for rent, hit the done button, and now instead it will show me all my rentals in an area. So the rental view is built in. Just know for yourself that you have to come here to more and flip the toggle from for sale to rent and put those on. There's some basic stuff in here and some things they can do to create their own filters. Now, because you're tied into the consumer, I can even do things like draw my own circle of a map. And maybe I looked at this and said, you know what, I just want to live in, no, not that area. I just want to live in a specific area, and I can come in here and even use the whole map tool. So I'm going to hide this, draw my little shape, and maybe I just want to live in this area. And I have it on houses, so I'll uncheck houses, for sale. It may not have any homes for the sale on that one, so I'm going to redraw. There we go. So it's going to take some practice to get used to this of what are you doing? There we go. It's not made for me to do this demo this way. Okay, there we go. Draw. One giant square. There we go. Now I have homes for sale. Now, the cool thing is they can save this. And the way it's going to save is a save search, just like you'd save in a normal app. However, if I come to my save down below, you also have the ability to create what we call collections, which would be I can add a specific home to my collection to look up later. So here's one I did for Aventura with 2 homes in it. Here are all my recent saved searches. So I can always have them ready to go, come back to them, and my saved searches will be remembered for me to look at and to see where they are. So there's just some very difference around this. The saved will be the big one. There is a feed button here. The feed button works when you have a co-buyer or seller. So the future of the feed button would be somebody added a new home to the collection, or there's a price reduction or something there as it comes through. So as you add a co-buyer or find your agent, eventually we're going to have a shared feed together. The big thing that's different though is the guides, and we're going to help you build a guide today, but your app has built into it a buying and selling guide. And here's the power of this. So if they're looking through this guide, what if they need to get pre-approved? So if I click this step, guess what? Kelle Mortgage is built in. So this is the ability to save them money. Now, every state except for New York right now this works in. So 49 of our states allow them to do this option. Now, they can mark the button that says already have financing, but how powerful will it be to say, by the way, I can help you find your home, finance your home, right? Manage your home, and etc. So that's a cool option in here. And if I go through this guide, I've also got the option for home insurance. This will take you to our other product, Kelle Covered. Now they can save up to 30% on home insurance and shop around multiple carriers right inside your app. Now, I know we have vendor partners. I'm sure you might have an in-house mortgage person. We have one in our office, Supreme Mortgage. I'm not here to put them out of business. But what I do know is the consumers are going to Zillow right now. And Zillow on every home says, would you like to get financing? By the way, would you like us to buy your home in Florida? Right? They're taking the consumer and then they sell that data back to me. I need to be able to compete with that. And what Zillow does not say today is if you get a mortgage, we'll save you money. And by the way, none of those opportunities, no Twilio, Zillow, Realtor.com, any of those apps do not have insurance built into them. So you're starting this end-to-end consumer experience, and it's built into the guide, and it's even built into every listing. If I looked at a specific listing, by the way, the listing also has right here, save thousands and save on home insurance built into every single property that I look at, which is just a different experience altogether. So the guides will be buying, and then you have a selling guide. Now, the cool thing is as they go through these guides, so here's the seller's guide, and I talk about how we're going to show their home, and this is all pre-built, by the way. We're going to go through and build one of these. If they mark it as complete, it's actually going to check off in the list of things they need to do. So you guys just became the Domino's app, telling you where are we at in the journey, where are we at in the delivery of this, and it's actually going to navigate you through each of these steps as we go through the transaction, which, as we know, the National Association of Realtors interviews buyers and sellers, and their number one complaint most of the time is I never heard from my agent, and a lot of times they just don't know what's next. You know, we give them the paper guide at the beginning of our transaction that says, hey, you're going to hire me to buy a home or sell a home, and then we don't talk about it again. This now will be built in, and as Josh's team tells us, they don't want an on-demand agent. They just want on-demand information. So at 9 o'clock at night, I don't want to have to call you. If the app tells me here's what's next, then I know what's next, right? So it's a total different experience. Definitely start learning this app, play with it. You're not ready to share it with the public until you understand it better. So hopefully you have a better overview of this app. Like I said, on YouTube, I do have a channel, Jay Cermak, Trainer Extraordinaire. And one of the videos I did was a side-by-side comparison with this app and Zillow's app and Remax's app. And it's not bad to go check out and get an idea. I'm not here to say who's good or bad. I just want to show a consumer experience. However, here's the best part. Zillow and Twilio are going to sell that lead, a person looking on their app, to a realtor. And they're going to cost money for that. You just gave them this experience to the consumer, and it is branded to you no matter where they look. So I'm in Florida. If I have clients looking in Chicago, I can actually have them look in Chicago on the app, favorite properties on the app, tell me they want to move to Chicago, and then I will call the Chicago agent to work out a referral and then connect them to an agent where they are. Because we didn't do that with the old app, consumers ended up saying, you helped me in Florida, Jay, but you couldn't help me in Chicago, so I went to Zillow, right? I went somewhere else. They didn't know we can help them. So your app is powerful and will work anywhere around America. So I would definitely be telling everybody you know, no matter where they live, and give them this experience branded to you by hitting the you button and making sure it's your branding. So that's a little bit about the app. I'm going to switch over now back to the computer. So if they use the app, what the heck happens to Command? So let's talk about that. So I'm in Command right now, and I'll be on the home screen of Command. So if you haven't been in Command before, Command is the login is agent.kw.com. And Command is a lot like your phone, actually. It is one place to go and access all the apps for your business. And that's really the concept. And just like the iPhone, right? Apple built a couple apps, yet the App Store has 100 million plus apps of other people building them. That's our concept. You're going to have a platform. So think of Command as the phone. Inside the phone, you have all different applications you would run your business. And then we're going to partner and build you an app store with other people that come into this app. Now I'm on the home screen and you're seeing a sneak preview of soon you're going to have this little recent leads widget. This is brand new. This is going to eventually tell you when people are on their app and who has it. So this will be new leads coming in. This is actually my aunt and my brother and my family that I said I shared my app with today just came in as new leads. So now I can see that they're my new leads. You'll see this widget coming out here in the next couple of weeks. However, the reality is I'm going to go to contacts and see something different. So the cool thing about our app is as people are coming in now, it's actually going to give me a new ability to see people based on if they have the app or not. Now, here's the trick with this. If you come to filters now, at the bottom of filters, we have a new button that says branded to me. This is for the app. So if I say yes, branded to me and hit apply, I'm now taking my 700 people in my database and linking it, and everything with a little green circle next to it tells me that they have the mobile app and they're connected with me. So now I have 10 people who have my app where I didn't have that earlier today or yesterday. So now I've got my brother in the system. I've got myself that I'm testing this, an agent, my aunt came in here, my sister-in-law, right? Now I'm starting to get people to come in here that are using my app. And you guys, you just became Amazon and you're studying and seeing when people are online. I think our lead generation is going to change. And instead of saying, who should I call today? I'm going to start coming to Command and look at who has my app and who can I call today to say, hey, Barbara, I noticed you've got the app and stuff. Hey, what do you think of it? How's it going? Did you find anything you're looking for? And I can have a better conversation. So this is a great way to do that. Now, remember, I filtered it. Here's the way to save this for the future. I don't think they've added it yet. Okay, so Smartplans are give me issues for the Smart View, but the goal is you create a new Smart View and call this like KW app. And you can set this as a view that every time you come into Command, show me the people that have my app. So clearly we're working on this right now, but that's how it will work in the future, is that you'll just have a shortcut here to click on the app and just show me out of all my contacts who has the app. But I love that they're doing this visual. The next part of this visual, by the way, will be a solid circle when they're physically on the app at live in that moment. How cool will that be to know that they're online now looking at homes? Now, these are my test contacts, but I'm going to go to me as a contact. So right now you're just noticing that you are going to see a little check mark next to you telling you that they're online. And I'm going to come in here to the app. And I want you to see this because it's actually going to track everything we're doing in this contact card. So this is me testing this out, and you as an agent are now added to the system like a contact, which is great because the best way for us to understand how this technology works is to test it out on yourself first. Friends and family, see what it's like before you put your entire database on something. So here is my contact. It tells me agent site connected, and these are the properties that I looked at on my physical app. So I see that they logged in at 2:03 p.m. Now it does say agent site. It means the same thing because the agent website and app are the same. So don't be thrown off if it says agent site. It just means that they're logged into my app right now. We're also texting myself back and forth, and I can see all the properties they're looking at, saving favorites and stuff. So now I'm tracking and seeing what my client does. What a great way to see how that works where we don't really have that ability. We didn't have that ability that well with the old app unless they registered. This is why it's important that everybody who gets your app registers for the app. So I've got them here. They're on the app. Well, what can I do now that they have activity? Like, how do I automate to make sure I get my other people to get the app? So that's where Smartplans come in. Now, before we activate Smartplans, we're actually gonna go through a Kelle guide to set up your mobile app. Now, today's class, we're gonna do 1 hour. Next week, I'm gonna do a 2-hour version of this class where we're really gonna deep dive into building custom smart plans, into really creating a marketing piece and doing things. So today, think of it as an overview of resources you'll have available. And next week, we're gonna really deep dive more into what this app can do. Our goal today is that you have the app, you have a little bit of knowledge around it, and then you know how to share it with people and get it into more people's hands. Because as you can see, if I have 10 people that I know have my app today, and I'm getting this insight, that's more information that I've known about even my own family in the last couple of weeks. Because now I know they're online. I know what they're looking at. I know that they're saving homes. I know that they might be chatting with stuff and asking me to see homes. And now I'm making sure that my family in another state isn't going to end up with a different agent like my brother did to me and went to an open house and got a home and I didn't get a referral, right? Because he just found a different agent. Now I'm giving them this experience, and now it will make sure I give them the experience and that I get to have that conversation when they are ready to buy or sell the home. So we're actually going to set up a Kelle guide, and to set up the new app and do a Kelle guide, we're going to come to the last app in our consumer store, or in command, and it's called Consumer now. This used to be called Agent Sites, or the Sites tab. So now they've called it Consumer. And we're actually going to set up a wizard to set up your guide. Now, I will give a little pause here. We're going to come to Site and App Settings, and we're going to set up the app. So learn more with Kelle Guides. If you have not set up your website, though, I have found if you do the guide for the app, it may give you an error message. So I'm going to show you the guide for the app. If you have an error message where you get stuck, I'll tell you when. Then you just have to go set up your website, because one of the things we're going to set up today is a landing page, meaning a page that people can go to on a computer or a website that tells them about the mobile app and downloads it branded to you. You actually had an app page like that before, right? The Kelle Williams page that if they went to the computer, it was a red background and said, click here to get my app. You're going to make a new version of that. However, if you don't have your agent site or website set up, it may not link to you, and that's where it gets stuck. So I just wanted to point that out, that the option for the website and the consumer app are in the same place. And if you get an error on the agent app, then do the consumer wizard for the site first, and then do the app one. So we're going to click Learn More with Kelle Guides under Site and App Settings, and we're under Consumer. When I click Learn More, it gives me a choice. Do you want to set up your agent website or the consumer settings for the app? So we're going to do the consumer settings for the app. And again, if you get stuck in this next steps, come back and do this first. And then when you're done with the website, this will work perfectly. I've tested this out with an agent earlier. They couldn't get through the wizard. We did their site, and then the wizard worked perfectly. So I'm going to click Continue. It's going to ask you if you want to leave, and that's okay. So what you're coming to is what we call a Kelle guide. Think of this as a wizard to get started. And what we're going to expect out of this guide is we're going to learn more about the app, which you guys are learning some from me today, but you can come back at any time and watch these other articles. There's tons of videos, and we'll help you learn more about this product. Then we're going to do some consumer settings. Then we're going to build the guides, that buy and sell guide you saw, build a smart plan, and then we're done with it. So the first step is set up your app, click to get started. And step one says get the most out of your app, and you can click here to learn more about creating the premium app experience, managing client relationships, and how to share your app, which we just showed you. So some of this you're already seeing in what I've already shown you, but you can always come back later, and these articles are available 24/7. So we're going to click on the next button. So step one was just some education. Step two is actually building a web page really fast. Now, this is the page agents got stuck on and couldn't go past if their website wasn't set up, just to tell you. So under consumer settings on the left side, you're seeing a preview of what this web page, or called landing page, is going to look like. You actually want to click next to app download. There is an arrow, and we're going to click it. And the arrow is going to tell you, here's your landing page. It has what they call a hero text image, which I guess just means if you hover your mouse over it. I haven't found where this text actually shows up yet, but notice the asterisk, it just says it's required. So make sure you put the word like download our app. I said download our brand new home search app. You literally can put anything you want, just make sure it makes sense. So download our brand new home search app, and you're going to notice that your app URL is right here and here. You can't change them. It's just a copy. And a lot of agents have asked me, is it different than the old code? No. If you had the app before, it is the same code. So all of my marketing and designs I had with the old app code on it still work. So it's just giving you a shortcut. You can hit copy here. I'll show you where this is stored if you didn't get it, to get it to another spot as well. I still think the fastest way to share the app is from the app, and hitting the share button is the fastest way to get it to everybody. So all I had to do was make sure that I put a name right here and click save and continue. This is where I saw people freezing up. So if you hit save and continue and it didn't go to step 3, that means you have to close this out and go back to the website wizard. So I have videos on how to do that on my YouTube channel. You can check them out there. I'm sure we can walk you through that guide. The website doesn't have to be perfect. So even if you just go quickly through it just to get it set up and then do this wizard, you shouldn't have any problems. So the step 3 is building a guide. This is going to be the guide you saw inside the consumer app. Now the guide builder is going to say, okay, we have the first step. Notice next to setup, it has a little arrow. And when I click setup, the first thing it says is, okay, which guide do you want to build? We're building 2 guides. We're going to build a buyer guide, then we're going to build a seller guide. So you're actually building 2 of them. And the neat thing is it's built for you, yet you can customize it and add more things if you want and totally change it if you need to. So I'm going to choose buyer guide to start. It's going to give me a little preview here, and then I scroll and go to the next button. The first thing it says is your timeline guide. That's what you might have seen in our demo videos, which just means it's your timeline guide. You can change it to say your timeline buyer's guide, listing guide. It literally is whatever you want to call it. I'm leaving it with your timeline guide right now, but you can change it if you want. Excuse me. Then I've got my message below. Now, here's the trick. Your message on the second paragraph is going to say the word Paul. That's because in our demo, Paul was our example guy. So just know the message probably says the word Paul. Will be providing you insights in each step. So if your name is Paul, leave it. If your name isn't Paul, like mine isn't, change it. And since I'm a team and I want to let people know that it may not be me physically helping them buy or sell, it will be the team members, I changed it to say our team. The rest of this is already typed for me. So all I'm changing is the name. So make sure the name makes sense. And this will be a preview that shows up. I'll show you on the website, and it will be inside the app. When they say, I'm thinking about buying, they'll get a congratulations, welcome to buying a home. Here's the next steps for you. So a title, a message, and we click next. This is where you get to the guide builder. Cool thing is every step is already here for you, ready to go, meaning it's got pictures, it's got text and descriptions. On the right-hand side, you can change it. So start your search. Maybe I want to click here in the arrow, and I can actually change the title of this if I wanted to. I can change the first step and call it something else. It's literally your ability to customize this guide if you want to. My advice to start, just build the guide as it is today, and then think about it in the future of what would I want to add to this? What else do I do? How do I make this experience different between the other KW agents? Because remember, no one else has this right now. And if we all get the same guide today, that means your app is the same as mine. However, if I go back and add more steps, I enhance this, I change the images, I just created a different and unique experience. So our app may be the same, but we're going to offer 2 different experiences. If you need to change the image, you just delete the image out and upload your own image. We've already bought the stock art for these, so they're pretty good. And then you also have the little 6 squares here to the right, meaning I can rearrange the order of a step. Now, one step I added, at the bottom you have the option to add a step to this guide. And it's going to say, great, what's the title? What's the subtitle, like a description? And it does require an image. So if you don't have a picture, don't do this step yet. I'm going to delete that step. I did this for the signed buyer brokerage agreement. So Gary Kelle brought up a really good point at Family Reunion. The National Association of Realtors mentioned that less than 40-something% of all realtors have a signed buyer brokerage agreement. Gary's idea was, well, why shouldn't we add that? So I figured I'll add it to the step so it's never anything to question. So I added this, and if you like it, feel free to copy it. You can take the text I wrote. I got an image that I got from online, signed the buyer brokerage agreement. So I want to make sure that we do the search. I get them pre-approved. Then we're going to sign an agreement before we ever tour a home. So I'm setting up the expectation. And Gary believes that the reason people aren't signing the buyer brokerage agreement is we probably just aren't asking. Most people will sign stuff. And here's what I know as a business person. If I go to the doctor's office, I sign paperwork. If I go to get my cable company, I sign paperwork. Pest control, sign paperwork. Right? Everywhere you go has you sign an agreement of some kind. And this agreement isn't saying we're getting married. It's like we're dating. And if you ever want to break up, we can break up at any time. But it's to protect the consumer. Now, in my state, in Florida, they're very, we're by default transaction brokers, which means we technically work for the seller. And we have a buyer brokerage agreement, which lets me answer in a paragraph versus a sentence. So I kind of wrote that in a little paragraph. And I kind of mentioned the fact that since we're professionals, we pride ourselves on providing an outstanding consumer experience. We do this with our buyer brokerage agreement, which allows me to answer your questions to the highest level versus the state standard agreement, which protects the seller. Just some fun wording, change it up all you want, but that's a step I added. I'm going to add more steps as we go, but it's something that you can consider adding to protect your business. When I click next, I've now finished the buyer's guide. So now we add guide number 2, and we choose seller's guide. So today you're just adding a buyer's guide and a seller guide. The future of this is having a first-time home buyer guide that has different stuff in it. And then maybe a retiree or empty nester buyer guide. And then I might have one for VA, and I might have a different one for luxury. And I can create a custom experience of these guides in the future. Today, we're just starting with one buyer, one seller. But think of the possibilities. How awesome will it be if you're a luxury agent and you say, hey, here's my special luxury buyer guide that talks about the luxury brand. And if it wasn't a luxury listing, here's my standard buyer guide or listing guide. So this does the same thing, your timeline guide. I can call it my seller's guide. It has congratulations in here, but it will say the word Paul again. Paul will be providing you insights in each step. So make sure you change Paul to your name or your team name or whatever you want to say. The rest of it I think was good, and you're allowed to type up to 400 characters. So I've got that typed. I'm going to click next, and here is the listing process. So we're going to show your home, review offers. We're going to have an inspection, appraisal, and close. Now, looking at this guide, I realize it instantly went to showing their home. I could have added stuff about photography, staging, signing the listing agreement. There's all kinds of stuff you can add, but I get it. This is the commonality from once we've listed your home to show your home, review offers, inspection. So it's kind of like it's one size fits all. My advice and what people are telling me is if you have a paper listing presentation or buyer presentation, make this match it. That way I have a paper copy I gave you and a digital experience to enhance it. So they've already got this written. I'm not changing any of these. Nick Baldwin, if you don't know who he is with Lab Code Agents and a KW Director of Tech like I am, Nick suggested that he actually added a step for marketing. And his marketing step talks about social media, Facebook, postcards. He has a marketing strategy. And that's a great one I'm going to add in the future. Just talking about how not only are we showing your home, how are we marketing your home? So you can build that in. You can click the add a guide step and add as many as you want. Rearrange the order, delete something if you don't do it in your state, rename the wording of it. It's 100% customizable. However, I love the fact that they built it and gave me something to start with versus, hey, Jay, you're on your own. So I'm just going to click next on that. And now I have a buyer's and seller's guide. Now, if you try to add another one, it says only 2 guides for now. However, think about the possibility of a buyer's guide for luxury or VA loans or first-time home buyers and creating a custom experience for that person. So we click next. So step 2 was the actual settings to create that landing page. Step 3 was the guide builder. And step 4 is literally just flipping the switch on for Smartplan. And I'll show you why, because you're going to want to customize the Smartplan. But we created a Smartplan to promote your new mobile app. This is meant for people that don't have your app to know about it and download it. So step 1, it sends them an email within 1 day. So within 24 hours, you're adding to the Smartplan. they're going to get an email with you that says get on-demand information, click here, and it's going to be a link to your mobile app. And this will be automatically sent. You don't have to do anything with it. It's auto sent. Then it's going to say, okay, step 2, on day 2, I'm going to send you a text message. And this text message has this message already written. Hey, this is Jay with the J team. Did you see that neighbor listed a home in your area? Now, I didn't necessarily love the wording of that, so I'll show you, you can actually change that in another screen. In this view, don't worry about adding people to the smart plan. We're literally just turning it on. So you have a marketing smart plan that automates telling people about your app. Then you've got the option for step 3 would say after 5 days, basically by day 5, it sends them a text message or reminds you to text them about another feature of the app. Let me know what you think, right? It's kind of asking for feedback and sending them here. The neat thing is this is an instant email and 2 text messages in 5 days. So it's 3 touches and it automatically does it for me. That's a big time saver. So you're just gonna make sure where it says promote my app that this is green and turned on. So we're gonna click next. And guess what? You just went through the app guide. So we did step 2, which is setting the settings. We built our buyer and seller guides and we turned on a smart plan. So you're cruising along on making sure the app is ready to go. So now I've done the Kelle guide, I'll show you where that link setting is and where you can go back and edit the guide later. So if you come to consumer again, you'll notice we have guide builder right here now. So you don't have to go back to the wizard in the future. If you want to add a step or remove a step, you'll have the option here to click the pencil next to the buying guide. And just like you saw before, you'll have the ability to edit. Now there's one big difference. So like here's my signed buyer brokerage agreement. Here's the picture. Here's my description. And this is the part that you didn't have in the wizard. So I learned this later. And this is because in the app, think of this as like the preview. And this text below is like the big description. So just know you're going to want to come in if you add a step and do this extra piece. But I love that this is all built in. I can rearrange this guide, and it's just another cool way to come back to the introduction guide and save any changes I want at any time. Now, also in consumer is the site and app settings. So for today's class, we're not going deep into things, but I'll show you in site and app settings, you're going to have a section for what we call URLs. This is going to give you the URL for your consumer app. Hit refresh. So that's going to be the link for my website and my consumer app as well. Will show up here. And it looks like it might be giving me issues. That's where it's going to live. So if you ever need the link before and you don't have your app with you for some reason, it's in the app, but this is where it goes. There it goes. URLs. Here's my website. And then here is the link to my app. So if you ever need it again, you don't have to go through my KW anymore like the old way. You just come here to consumer, site and app settings, and there is the link to copy, text, paste, do whatever you want with it. Now, I did mention you have a new smart plan and that you can change it. So let me just show you how quickly you can change that smart plan. So smart plans are meant to be automation, like automatic marketing. So with smart plans, you are going to have some smart plans. So if you didn't get through that wizard where it says my smart plans, it is possible that this is blank for you. That's okay. These are my smart plans. It says my smart plans. So if this is blank, you just come to the library button and you can add any of these smart plans to the system. Now, the one we're talking about today is the promote my app one. Here are those steps. And it just tells you the reminder, a preview of what it is. And it can either automatically send the text message if you have Twilio, and it can also manually text you. Now, I already have mine added. So I'm going to come to my smart plans, and you'll notice in the smart plan button, there is next to it the ability to click the pencil to edit this. Now, you can't edit the actual email that goes out, yet you can edit the physical messages that go out from texting. Now, this is going to tell you about something called Twilio. So let me just briefly address Twilio. We're not teaching it today on how to do it. I do have videos on how. There's a question mark to learn more about Twilio. But Twilio is a paid service to do texting automatically for you. The lowdown of this is it costs you $1 a month to own a physical phone number from Twilio. So Keller Williams didn't want to buy numbers and sell them to you or let you temporarily use them. We want you to own the number. So I bought a number from Twilio for $1 a month. So $12 a year, and I have a 954 area code that's local. Now, this won't come from your personal cell phone number. It'll be a separate marketing number in essence. So you're going to buy a number, and then they charge you kind of like a toll pass. You give them 20 bucks up front, and that's what you do to kind of put your card. Think of it like a prepaid plan. And then every text message that you receive or send, it costs you 0.0075 of a penny. So it is basically 1,000 text messages for $7.50. So it allows you to send a bunch, or you can look at it the other way, 7,500 text messages for $10. So this allows you to text people and receive text messages. It does include multimedia messages, meaning I'm testing this now, and I've sent pictures of my flyer, of different marketing pieces, texted them to my client. And if you have that turned on, then this step where it says number 2 and 3 will actually go automatically, meaning my client, and in this case, me, I tested it with myself. I got a text message today from this telling me, hey, Jay, this is Jay. Did you get my app? Now, remember the original message talked about how, did you see that seller down the street just as their house? Now, I have a client right now who already has her house listed, and it didn't feel like it was a message I would say. So you can come here to the text message and change this. Now, here's what's neat. You have what they call the mail merge features right here on the right. So think of it like if you did a postcard or a mailing letter. This means here's the merge field. So here is the contact's first name. So now I'm personalizing this automatic text message to say, hi, Jay. This is Jay Cermak with the J team. We have a brand new KW app where you can search for homes in your neighborhood. Have you had a chance to look at it? I wanted to do it this way in case they already had the app. So I'm just saying, hey, have you looked at it? And it automatically puts in the link to my app. So this now became my auto text message that's going to go out, and it already did for my clients. Then it's going to wait another 2 days and send another text message. Now this one I didn't change. I think I just added at the beginning of it first name. So contact first name. So Jay, did you know that you can see all the stats about your neighborhood in our new app? Let me know what you think. You can change it to anything you want, but this is your ability to start customizing what messages you send out. And if you don't have Twilio, it just becomes a reminder of today to don't forget to text Jay and send him a message about the app. So you can actually change the text. You can hit save here. And if you want to, now that you've modified it, there's even the plus sign to add a bunch of people. So I'm going to save and continue. And you can actually go through your entire database, search by tag. So maybe I'm just looking for any of my buyers, Billy buyer, and I can click here and then add them to the Smartplan. So you can kind of do a bulk adding this way. The other way to do it is going back to the contacts. So I'll pull myself back up again, and I can actually do it from either here. So this is what we call, if you select more than one at a time. So here's 50 of my contacts. Under bulk action, I can actually do a Smartplan button from right here. Meaning you can do a search for your people, filter by them, and then click this button to promote your app to up to 50 people at a time. I would probably test this out with a few people before I send it out to 500 plus people. So that's one way. And oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. If I add a Smartplan, and let's say I did add them to the promote my app, it's going to give me a choice now to start it now, to wait to a specific date to start it. And this is the cool feature, stagger it over the next few days. So if you're going to do 500 contacts, that's okay. However, what if I did 5 of them a day to send it to, and then the next day is another 5, then the next day is another 5 automatically? That's what this staggering does. That's really neat. That would be a great way to do that. And then let's say there is something wrong and you fix it. Then the first 5 people had something wrong, but then the next 5 people get it right. And then the next 5 people after them will get the right one. So that's your ability outside the contact card. And if I click the contact card, you also have a Smartplan button right here. Now, this person's already on the home anniversary. Actually, this person is not. This is me. I'm not on this plan. So I'm going to add them to the Smartplan, promote my app, start it now because it's one person, confirm. And now I'm going to get an email in the next day, then a text message is 2 days later, and then another message 2 days after that. So you're basically now automating how do I contact them. So I've got my contact, I'm using my app, I've got them here. The last two things to show you, and I'm just snorkeling today, we're not deep diving it, is just where some of these designs are. So I want to show you, you now have some cool marketing. Now, who loves free and fast social media posting? Hopefully everyone in the room, right? I just want to quickly promote something and I don't have to make a flyer. I don't know what to say to social media. So let me show you the fast feature that you can do today. And next week, we'll deep dive into how to really customize a marketing piece and what to do. So inside of Campaigs, this is your ability to not just do paid social media ads and postcards and emails. It's also your ability to do what we call social posts. This is a post scheduler for Twitter and Facebook. So you have the ability for Twitter and Facebook to schedule when posts go out. This allows you to create content and go. The new feature I want to talk about in social post is what we call a suggested quick post. This truly is an easy button. Click a button and it posts to your social media, pre-written the tag, pre-written the design, and you just click it and go. That's exciting. Now, your three, because there's three of them here, one's a video that we can make, which is a neighborhood video. I'll show you how to do that in a second. There's also a social post for creating these flyers. They're already made for you, and they have the text for social media pre-written. If yours doesn't look like mine, because there's like 8 versions, hit the refresh button and you'll get a different setup. So there's the neighborhood video. Here's a home. There's a home. If I hit refresh again, each of these quick suggestion will be a different version. So here's a new one we didn't see before. Refresh again. If you refresh enough, there's even a consumer video in here as well. From what I heard, it took like 5 or 6 times to refresh before the new KW consumer app video showed up. Nope, maybe it is 14 times. There we go, that's another post. But see how these are already written for you and how cool would that be to make a quick marketing post? All right, it didn't show up for the video, but if you keep refreshing, there is a promo video KW made that you can use as well. So let's pick one of these, like this one with the bathroom, right? House hunting favorites. My app is here, and to quickly post it, now before you do this, you have to have a connected profile. So if Facebook isn't connected, what I'm showing you won't work yet. Make sure you connect it. When I hit the share button, it's gonna pull up and automatically create an image for me, and it pre-typed in the text with my app code already built in. So I actually have this done pre-typed for me. Here is the image that they made for me, and I'm going to make it wide here. So now I've got this image. Oh, keep it on square. Excuse me. I've got my image here. I add the Market Center logo if you want to. It's optional. And then I can schedule it to either publish right now or schedule it to go out. So I'll schedule this to maybe go out on Saturday. 10 a.m. is fine. And if I hit schedule, I just scheduled a social media post. It'll look like this, and it automatically goes out. So what a great way to not have to think about what do I post and automatically create a post to go out for another day. So there we go. I got it scheduled for Saturday. It's going to post to my social media instantly. Now, I did skip one part of this. If I click one of these, there's also this ability to shuffle a message. So here's one. If you love looking at homes, click my app. If I hit shuffle, here's another version of the text. Shuffle, here's another version. So they give you a couple choices as well. Now, neighborhood video, I'll deep dive later, but this is your ability to create a short video about a neighborhood you live in. So let's just say I typed in my neighborhood, which is Mill Ridge here in Florida. And if I choose this, this makes a video in less than a minute. So it's got the name of the neighborhood. You can change it, by the way. So if your neighborhood name is wrong in your area, you can change it right here in this graphic. It also puts the average home price. Now, this price didn't ask me single family homes, condo, commercial, rental. So the number may be wrong because it didn't ask you property type. So you can change it. You can override it. So if I know the price is really more like $350, I could type it in. I could say 205 for the price of the square footage. There are 18 homes for sale, days on market, maybe I say 65. 3 features they're going to highlight: the agent information about you, and then your Market Center brokerage. So your first time doing it, it might need some extra information. Once I click next, it makes a video for me in just a few seconds. So now I'm generating content to quickly post it and get on social media. So this is going to make a cute video that has music, animations, and branded to me, and I can do this in less than a minute. So it's a really powerful tool. I've been doing this with a few neighborhoods. Because we can schedule this post out, here's my idea. What if you did 1 day a week, pick a day, maybe Fridays, that's what I'm doing. Maybe every Friday I'm going to showcase, and that's okay, I gave an error. Typically it works. I'm going to showcase a different neighborhood every Friday. So I scheduled one for this Friday, then I created a different neighborhood and scheduled it for next Friday, then the next Friday. You can plan this out a couple months in advance. So it's a neat tool to actually create some of these for. Looks like it's giving me an error right now, but typically this is working. And you can create a video and then have it scheduled. So I have a video that's going out on Friday. Here's kind of a mini preview of it. I'll keep the music down, but the whole goal is it's just a short little cute video, talks about the numbers we did, says everything here, ends up being branded to me, and this video is going to automatically post on Friday. So that's just some of the great things you can do. And just to show you the last part of this, or next week's class we're going to deep dive in, is some marketing pieces you can make. So you saw the quick post, which means those designs exist. And I'm just going to quickly show you where the new stuff is in designs. And next week, we're going to show you how to actually create and customize the designs. So under designs, this is all your marketing pieces. You'll notice we have a new thing now that says video. So those videos that I made for the week, and I went around the country, or around my neighborhood, I should say, and made different videos for, they're here, by the way, to download and use anywhere you want. So if I want it on Instagram, because I can't do that with Post Scheduler, I can download this file on my phone and then post it on Instagram. But you can now create the video as well. But the big power is going to be in clicking the plus sign to create marketing. Here's the way to create the video as well. And then we have print and social media. So I'm going to choose print and show you some of the print templates they've made. So print would be things like postcards, flyers, anything that you would print out on a computer around marketing. So here, when I come here, you have a new thing now that says My App. This is a new section. So they have now under here jumbo postcards, flyers, large postcards, and then the standard 4x6 postcard. So I've got a bunch of designs. There's over 134 layouts in this view. Now, these are some simple postcards that you can make. You can even make your own. They've also got some great flyers that look great. One of the girls I saw doing her open house with her app station, she used one of these flyers, branded to her. Here's how to get my app. Had it sitting on a nice little stand at her open house. And then everyone who came in, she said, oh my gosh, do you have my app yet? Let me text it to you. So these are where she got those marketing pieces. Now that's the print side of this. So I'm going to close the print really quick. And then there's a little bit for social media as well. So if I come here to the plus sign again in designs and social, I'm going to have a choice for a bunch of different social media channels. So here under templates, now it does say Instagram. However, this format of a square works in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. They all recognize the square. It's more of a universal sizing than anything. So Instagram just is what it's suggested for. You can use this image anywhere. And these graphics are pretty much ready to go. You just use one of these. You can download them. They have a couple versions inside here, and you can make your own marketing. So as I said today, we're not deep diving. We're just snorkeling. So next week, we'll take more time to create those actual marketing pieces. And then there will also be the ability to add a website widget. So next week, we'll actually teach you how to not just build your guides, but how do you actually add a website page. And the page we're going to add, so you can see an example, is going to be on my website, or just an example of one. And we're going to add a page to your website that says, download the app. So basically, you're adding a quick web page on how to promote your app inside there. And just to round this class up, notice I said the consumer app and the website are going to be the same. So I'm actually logged into my website as the consumer. So if I sign out, notice all I have in this view is a login button and the menu for my app, or for my website, I should say. If I log into this account, and I've already got my stuff ready, so I'll log in here, it's actually going to be the same as what's on my app. So I love the fact that these two are tied together. Oops, sorry. There we go. It's logging in. Notice what's going to come in here. The feed, a guide. Remember our buying and selling guide? And selling, I already said I was done with this step. Notice they're in sync with each other. My saved searches are here. And anything I do in my website is all tied together. So you guys, the app and this just started matching each other. So we got a lot of exciting things with this, right? We're rounding up the class here. I'm going to share my phone one more time just to recap what we learned inside the app. And now it's your turn to kind of take this class, go back and start playing with the app this weekend, right? If you're doing an open house this weekend, learn it before the open house and share it with everybody who comes through. So here's the app again. I've got my location. Here are the neighborhoods nearby. I'm going to get rid of these prices because this does not work in my area. This is a more expensive price area. I'm going to get rid of all these stuff. Let's see, just clear filters. And I'm looking at my listings, right? And so what we learned about this app is the most important thing is to have it downloaded first. Then it's to come to the U tab and you need to sign in for an account. So I'm going to click sign out really quick. And if you get the app and it looks like this, be sure to sign up for an account one time and tell your clients. It's going to ask you to sign up, just register once and you're good to go. And remember, the sign up is just your name, email address, and password. Now I already have one, so I'm going to hit login. And then I'm going to log into this app. And what we learned about the app is the fact that I can search by neighborhoods, which not many apps can do. Well, actually, none of them can do. Then I've got the ability to learn more about a specific neighborhood, find my favorite homes. Notice I've got little green calendars next to some of these. That indicates there's an open house coming up. So that's kind of pre-built in. You've got your filters up above. You've got built into it Kelle Mortgage, Kelle Cover. There's so many great things. Your guides are built into here. And everything in to start giving them a different experience they've ever had before. So hopefully you guys found value in what we shared with you today. Just since we've got another moment, I'm just going to share with you where these resources are. So there's a couple places to learn about the consumer app. One of those is actually on KB Connect. So if you've not been in KB Connect in a while, we've actually added some new stuff. So there's now step-by-step training guides. If you want to hold a training as well in your market center or help others, there's under technology, this tech-enabled agent, which will allow you to get resources. So this talks about not just Command, the app, there's all kinds of great resources here. That's one place to look. And then I've also got, I'm on KB Connect as well, but I'll show you on YouTube, I've actually got tons of content for you. So the goal of this is to help you guys and empower you with videos. I've got playlists. I've got over 400, 300 videos that you can look at. And I take what I taught today and I break it down into 5-minute segments. So today you'll see, here's how to add that web page if you want to get a head start before we teach it next week. You've also got the ability to create your marketing pieces, the social media post we showed you today, how to do your consumer app. Here is that app comparison video, which actually takes the app and goes through between all the different apps out there. So it'll show you the comparison of those. And those resources are here to help you as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure there might be questions after, so let your leadership know and I'm happy to answer them. I will make sure this recording gets back to our agents to help more people. This is the beginning. This is the future of us having a unique experience and providing something that no one has ever seen in the world. It's a really exciting time. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. And we want to make sure that everybody walks out today with at least the ability to use the app and share the app. All right. Thank you guys. And then I will be around to answer questions after, and just reach out to me.
Thank you, Jay.
Bye.